with them. Kevin?
I like that. Good stuff, John. Thank you. Terrific officials this afternoon. John Higgins has refereed 8 Final Fours. Jerry Pollard, 4 NCAA regional finals, and Kelly Self, 3 regional finals. And away we go in St. Louis. The winner will go to the NCAA tournament. It's Illinois State and Fane attacking early inside and picked up, and Yarborough can't get it to go. So 2 easy shots inside will not drop.
You saw they were attacking the basket, though, against that man-to-man defense. This is a Loyola Chicago team that does not really foul very much. They're among the best teams in the country in not fouling. So you got to make sure you attack them.
The freshman kicks it outside. That is a 3-point shot. Ingram can't get it, but the freshman gets it and drives inside. Krutwig no good. Look at the defense around him. Just enveloped him, but he still couldn't get it to go. And the defense there, and here come the Redbirds the other way.
That was 1 against 5. His teammates had all dropped back, and he just kept battling on his own.
Trying to get it in, knocked away by Ingram. Ahead it goes. Here's the player of the year. Knocked away with a beautiful rejection by William Tinsley of Illinois State. With a foul.
Tinsley coming from the right, and I don't think Custer ever saw him.
No.
He actually got between Custer and the basket to block that shot, but as Yarborough and Richardson battled for the rebound, Yarborough got called for a foul.
That's the first on Malik Yarborough, who's from Zion, Illinois. Kid with the ball right now, player of the year in the conference. Custer, he's from the Kansas City area, Overland Park, Kansas.
And as you watch Loyola play, look at how they have the court spread out. That's what they want to do. They want to spread you out, and then they want to attack you off the dribble and shoot threes.
Dante Ingram, a senior from Chicago, will put in the first points here.
Both teams have started in the man-to-man.
But they switch on defense liberally, don't they?
Yes, absolutely, particularly Illinois State.
3-point shot will not go in. Tinsley, and the other way come the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago. Richardson inside Krutwig, and that is a bad pass, but luckily kicks right back into Marcus Towns.
Now hit the rim. Isn't that a shot?
Wow. Once again, another one outside. Dante Ingram can't get it. Here come the Redbirds. Their RPI is 78. They're 18-14 in the conference. They were 10-8, and they need to win. Otherwise, they will not get in the tournament. But a win today, they'd be in, like we said before, for the first time in 2 decades. Here is a terrific 3-point shooter who will penetrate inside, and Evans can't get it, and up and in it goes. And Evans finally on that second try. Keyshawn will watch it drop. He averages 16 points a game.
He's a terrific 3-point shooter, but he can also drive the ball, so he's going to be very, very dangerous.
Loyola 27-5. Custer with a long 2. Sensational player. Once again, Keyshawn Evans will take it with a screen by Fane and a 3 which won't go, and a rebound by Evans, and again he gets one on his miss. He's all over the place, isn't he, with that big brace on that left knee.
Well, he is, but that was such a bad miss that he was the only one who was able to track it down.
Yarborough can hit. That's picked up by Towns. Here comes Towns, the transfer from Fairleigh Dickinson. But they will not count that because the foul was much earlier in that drive, and it will go on Williams of the Redbirds, and Madison Williams picks up his first foul.
Loyola is not a team, Kevin, that's noted for running up and down the court, but when they have the opportunity, they will push it in transition. And Illinois State needs to be very careful. You have to take good shots, because when you take bad shots, that's going to allow Loyola to get out in transition, and they're hard enough to guard if you can set your defense.
Nice pass. Custer going inside. Towns is there. That's going to count with the goaltend. What a pass inside by Custer.
This is a great passing team. Dan Muller told me before the game when we were talking about Loyola, he said they have no below average passers on the team. He said they have some elite passers, but everybody can pass the ball. You saw it right there. The backdoor cut, they find open players.
Including the freshman center for Loyola. They think he's an elite passer.
He's one of their best passers.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Evans on the wing. Custer's on him with a feigned screen and a wiggle inside by Evans. And again, he misses the first attempt. He'll miss the second attempt. Krutwig is in there with the rebound. Illinois State is 1-9. Outside, Richardson, three. Good! Ben Richardson, a senior from Overland Park, Kansas. He and Custer were high school teammates. In fact, they've played together since the 3rd grade. And they're on this team right here, and it's a good one. Yarborough inside Fain, where he does a lot of damage for the Redbirds.
Fain is not a big, strong guy, Kevin, but he's very quick in there. He has a knack for finding open spaces. There wasn't much room in there, but he was able to catch the ball and score easily.
Team in white here, Loyola. They have won 9 consecutive games, longest winning streak in their season since back in the mid-'80s. They are really riding high. The #1 seed, Towns on the wing. Evans will pick him up. Krutwig with 6 to fire, and outside Towns a triple. Fain is there for the rebound.
That was against that 2-3 zone. And
yes.
A lot of coaches in this league feel that Illinois State plays the 2-3 zone better than they do the man-to-man, and that's Tinsley knocking the ball out of bounds. But a very quick start for this game. And Loyola, they're a team, their reputation is to shoot the ball, and they've shot the ball well early. Good start. The conference. Illinois State, 17-1 in the conference, 33 RPI, and yet they lost the championship game and they went home.
Couple substitutions for Illinois State. They bring in Matt Hine. They bring in David Njai. And we got some full court pressure here by the Redbirds as Loyola in white will take it with a 5-point lead.
Little 2-2-1 pressure back into that 2-3 zone. I don't think that was to steal the ball. It was just to make him take some time off the clock, but it doesn't matter when you shoot the ball like that.
Custer knocks one in, a great 3-point shooter at 45%. Andre Jackson set a nice high screen for him there, and that opened the door, and the lead continues. And builds, and they go inside with a nice move, and that is Malik Yarborough. He has his first 2.
And Yarborough is a very effective inside player. He can shoot the 3, but he's not a great 3-point shooter percentage-wise, but he can drive the ball to the basket. He's a great post-up guy. He's going to be a handful.
Loyola began the game 1 of 6. They've gone 4 of 5 since. Outside here, Dante Ingram, a senior from Simeon High School in Chicago. Shot clock is down to 6. 6 minutes gone here in the first. Into Jackson, and he sneaks in for 2.
And one of the things you'll see with Loyola, Kevin, is lots of times when they drive, they're not looking to drive to score. They're looking to drive to pass. Many times it's to pass back out beyond the 3-point lane, but when they get an open guy inside, they can find him too.
Here's Yarborough, a terrific player who is down playing Twister as they wrestle for it, and they tie it up. It'll be Loyola's ball. Well, this week on Colbert, Stevens all new with Oprah Winfrey, Reese Witherspoon, bronze medalist Adam Rippon, and tomorrow catch David Oyelowo, all new Colbert, all this week on CBS. We can have some Oyelowo here with a lot of yelling inside this building, can't we?
There's a really good crowd here.
There is. They supported this well.
This is the first time in the history of the Missouri Valley Conference that they had 4, that they've been in St. Louis, that they've had 4 Illinois teams.
Isn't that something?
In the semifinals.
Custer's on top. There's another Jackson screen on the fly. Puts it up. Rebound collected in there by William Tinsley. Gassman is checked in now for the Redbirds. They use a lot of guys on that bench. Fain, look at 3 guys around him, still got the shot away. And out Fain yesterday was absolutely terrific in the Southern Illinois overtime win. He had 26 points. He had 9 rebounds. I mean, he filled every category for the Redbirds.
And he had 13 of those 26 in the overtime.
Wow. A lot at the free throw line.
Yeah, he
was a horrible free throw shooter.
He made 8 free throws in a row.
That's a 3, and Hine will launch. Rebound Fain. That's what he does. Collects it inside. Custer's got the ball.
Kevin, the Redbirds have had some shots inside, but they haven't been able to convert them. You really have to finish those type of plays. I know you're under pressure, but in this type of a game, you cannot let those opportunities slide by.
Cameron Satterwhite is checked in for Loyola. Here's Custer. And Jackson on top. Jackson, a very fluid player. We've seen him lay some wood on top there with some screens. With a move right now, Lucas Williamson. He'll fire from deep, and it's picked up by Matt Hine, who's a sophomore from the Orlando area. He can fly back and forth, too. He's had a lot of starts. Good feed, missed jam. Coming off the wing was William Tinsley. That thing kicked about 5 rows up. Wow. Had that gone in, this crowd would have erupted.
They would have erupted, but Kevin, I think this is one where if you just lay it up, I think you're going to make the basket, because Jackson, he had his body between Jackson and the ball. All you have to do is lay it in the basket. I know you want to make the impressive play, but once again, at a close-in opportunity, they can't convert, and you're not going to get any closer than that.
Custer, the player of the year, will check out. Here's Satterwhite. They got Towns on top. Richardson has it right now. Once again to Satterwhite, who's out of Gilbert, Arizona. That's picked off by Gassman. Now here comes Illinois State. Dan, they are 3 of 16 to start, coming off that overtime win yesterday. Gassman with a 3, missing again. 3 of 17 in shooting so far. Richardson racing the other way. Jackson into Fain. Jackson maneuvering for a shot.
Jackson is normally a very high percentage field goal shooter.
He's at 58%. You're right. I mean, the guy has shot very well.
And he was much better than that last year when he was the 6th man of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference, but he doesn't miss very many.
It's Fain chiseling. Evans outside trying to loosen that D and knocks in a 3-point shot. He's one of the best, not only this year, but in the history of the program. His 91st 3-point shot made, and he's going for the #1 slot with 3 more. He'll be #1 all-time in Illinois State 3-point shooting. Satterwhite. Hine. There's Jackson. What a feed and what a finish.
And Jackson is really clever inside. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
You don't shoot a high percentage unless you can score inside effectively. And another great pass, Kevin. Even against this zone defense, which is designed to cut down on penetration, Loyola is able to get inside and make some great passes.
Illinois State comes in as the #3 seed. Evans again. Gassman will put up a 3. Hit one from the left corner. Right there. Hit one from the right corner. The shot before. 2 in a row from distance. He is a 38% 3-point shooter.
60% of his field goal attempts are from 3, but his career high came against Loyola in an earlier game. So he likes to see the Ramblers.
Isaac Gassman is only averaging 4 points a game. He's got 6 already off the bench. Here's a 3-point shot, and Marcus Towns can't get it. Collected inside. Illinois State now, things settling down a little bit for them. They're hitting shots, and they got Evans. There's another 3, missing badly.
46% of Illinois State's shot attempts on the season are from 3, so they will keep putting it up. But, Kevin, as you see, if you take a bad shot and you get a long rebound, that allows Loyola to get out and go. So I think that Illinois State would be wise to maybe just tone it down with the shot selection a little bit.
Marcus Towns put in that 2 right there. Halfway through this first half, the Missouri Valley Conference Championship from St. Louis. The winner punches their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Gassman, Evans, and he drives. They play a lot of 3-guard, and they've got 3 guards in there right now with a foul inside. 9:35 to play. Williamson picks up the foul. We step aside. 6-point lead, Loyola. When he is in, they are 25-2. When he's out, miss those 5 games, 2-3. So he means everything. And per game. And here comes Yarbrough right now trying to work it in. 9.5 to go in the first half.
This is Yarbrough, one of the top offensive players in this league, against the defensive player of the year, and Yarbrough wins that one.
He won that one. The newcomer of the year. He was first team all Missouri Valley Conference. Malik Yarbrough from Zion, Illinois. Here comes Custer the other way, over to John.
And here's this 2-3 zone.
Here comes Yarbrough outside. It is Ingram with a long shot. And Ingram collects his miss. And they'll get a fresh, nope, it did not hit the rim, so the shot clock is at 9 as we send it over again to John Schriffen.
Evans is on the bench right now. That's because Dan Muller is not happy with his point guard. He met him at half court and walked with him all the way back into the huddle to yell at him about that deep three that he took that led to the easy breakout for Loyola. He said, look, every time we get it down in the paint to Phil Fain, we score, and then you take a shot like that. He said, guys, Loyola has no shot blockers. Get it in the paint.
Addison Williams just picked up his 2nd personal foul. So getting it in the paint, as John just said, is going to be important.
And they've gotten it in there inside, Kevin, but they haven't been able to score in there.
Krutwig tried to force one. Gassman comes up with it. Redbirds come the other way. They beat Indiana State on Friday. Southern Illinois in overtime yesterday. Gassman will get it inside and find two. 10-4 Illinois State run. Gassman from Ottawa, Illinois. He is a freshman on this team and sees a lot of time.
Great pass by Yarbrough.
Custer, three. Rebound. Krutwig again surrounded inside by red jerseys, and a foul on Illinois State. Was Fain in there? Well, it was a shove, and I guess we're going to put it on Hine. Hine will pick up his first for Illinois State.
The interesting thing about Krutwig, Kevin, when he gets the rebound in there, it's almost like his first option is to try to pass the ball back outside.
Bruno Skokna has come in, taking the place of Towns. Custer, transferred from Iowa State. His high school teammate Richardson into Krutwig from Algonquin, Illinois. Under 8 to play. Richardson. Gassman.
Krutwig's got a size advantage in there, Kevin. I think he's got to be more aggressive, trying to score, not always looking to pass the ball.
Yarbrough got some little bit of separation there with the defensive player of the year in Richardson. Shot was not good. A shove was inside. A foul goes on Fain. And now it's a 2-point game in the Missouri Valley Conference Championship from St. Louis. State in the 4-6 little span we've seen. They've gone 2 of 4 from 3. That 3-point shot, as we all know, can be such a factor. So here we go. Richardson, Custer out there. Skokna is on the far side. They go into Jackson. He's got a one-on-one with Yarbrough. And a Yarbrough foul. That is his second.
And that's a big call right there, because Yarbrough, he's the guy who's going to take the ball and drive it to the basket. He's the end of the shot clock guy. He's the guy who you try to get the ball to him so he can score at the end of the game.
So at the free throw line is Andre Jackson from Kennedale, Texas. He was the Missouri Valley Conference 6th man of the year. Think of all the individual awards this top seed Loyola team has. 6th man of the year is at the line right now in Jackson. They've got the defensive player of the year you talked about, Richardson. The player of the year, the Larry Bird Trophy, went to Clayton Custer. The freshman of the year went to this team. I mean, one decorated player after another on this Loyola Rambler team.
And the coach of the year sitting over on the bench.
Yeah, exactly, right. Very well. And the coach of the year from last year's on the other side.
So does that mean that they're pretty good?
Yeah, that means they're pretty good.
Okay, all right. So we've established that.
Yet, they're 28th in RPI, and the only way they're going to get in, it looks like, with 27 wins is if they win this.
Puts an awful lot of pressure on a team that's had great success throughout the year.
Boy, they collapsed on Fain, who picks up the foul with the defense. And Jackson will pick up the Loyola foul. And they'll put Phil Fain out of Elk Grove, California, city close to Sacramento, at the free throw line. He is a 51% free throw shooter. But down the stretch last night, Dan, he hit every free throw he put up. He was at 47% from the line going into the game. He's up to 52% this morning in the statistics.
Captain, I think that counting last night's game, that makes now 9.
I think you're right. Yeah, right. We were counting them last night, weren't we? Watching them. There he goes again. And once you get in that groove, I mean, it's tough to get out of it.
Well, I asked Dan Muller what he said to him last night, because before the kid went to the line after missing 3 or 4, Muller brought him over and talked to him. I said, "What did you tell him?" He said, "I just told him to take a deep breath."
He's doing it. It's working. Krutwig, freshman of the year in the conference, and puts it up and in.
And I think that's where Loyola's got to go. Yarbrough's already on the bench with 2 fouls. Fain has 1 foul. And Krutwig can operate so effectively inside. I think you have to attack Fain in there.
Tinsley on the wing. Broniga has now come into a freshman, one of the top high school scorers in the state of Illinois. He's got the ball off his fingertips. Richardson. Skokna and the trailing Ingram will take the shot. It's good! It's a 3, and he was fouled. Woo.
Exactly what we're talking about. Loyola isn't looking to run, but if you turn the ball over and give them the opportunity, then they know how to run to a spot. Ingram just runs right to the three-point line and knocks it down. That is an incredible play. Ingram, their best three-point shooter in terms of numbers of three-point baskets made, and he just ran right to the three-point line and knocked it down.
Dante Ingram at the line. 54th consecutive start today. His brother DeJuan played for Loyola from 01 to 05, so it runs in the family. And I've mentioned a time or two that he went to Simeon High School in Chicago. There have been some pretty good players that have come out of Simeon in Chicago.
Didn't he play with Jabari Parker?
Yes, he did. That's just one of them. Hine the other way. Illinois State has had 5 players this season who have scored at least 20 points in a game, one of 10 schools in the country that can say that. So in other words, a lot of guys can score, like the guy with it right now, Phil Fain. 26 the other night, up and off, and picked up here by Richardson. High school teammate on his side, Custer with it right now. Inside, Krutwig, who kind of lost his balance. Good defense by the Redbirds, and they come the other way.
That was a bad pass by Custer. You don't see too many of those, but he really forced that one.
Hine, Gassman, Bruniga. He was getting some votes for Mr. Basketball in the state of Illinois. From a 1A school, very small school, and he was still getting that kind of attention. Hine kicks it outside, shot clock at 7.
That's what happens when you average 33 points a game.
That's right. That's exactly. Gassman can't get it. He was a great scorer, one of the top scorers in the state, and it's Custer at the other end, bumped out of bounds, and Gassman will pick up the foul.
Dan Muller told me before the game that he thought their transition defense was going to be a key for the Redbirds, and so far, to be perfectly frank about it, they have not been very good with their transition defense. Loyola pushing the ball up the court very effectively, scoring, but that time also drawing the foul.
Porter Moser is the coach in his 7th season with Loyola of Chicago. They just captured their second 20-win season in the last 4. Before he arrived, Dan, just one 20-win season in the previous 26 years. The Rick Majerus disciple on the sideline for the Ramblers.
He was telling us how much excitement that they had generated for Loyola and for the city in terms of college basketball.
Fans want to remind you, stream live 24/7 highlights, scores, and news free across all your connected devices. With the all-new CBS Sports HQ. If you've gotten on that yet, it's a terrific service. You're so supposed to say, yeah, Kevin, I have.
Absolutely, absolutely.
See, it was written right there.
Sorry, I missed that.
Well, nothing run. Biggest lead right now. And approaching 5 to play in the first half. State Farm, Missouri Valley Conference Championship. Fain inside. Very clever score on that doorstep. He's got 6.
I think when Fain gets the ball, Loyola's got to double team him. He is not a great passer. You have to get down and double team him and force him to give up the ball because he can operate against Krutwig inside.
Custer. Lucas Williamson and now Towns back in the game and up top. He was hitting threes last night in that win over Bradley. Williamson, shot clock down to 6. Custer's got to make a move. He's got 5 defenders. Here comes Towns on a runner inside and picked up by Bruniga.
Remember, Yarbrough's on the bench with 2 fouls, and that is a big offensive issue for Illinois State. I think you're going to see him go to Fain as much as possible.
Yarbrough's the leading scorer, leading assist man. They get inside just as you called. Fain is there to pull the trigger.
I think they have an advantage. I'm not sure that Krutwig is sufficiently mobile to guard him if Fain gets good position, and Fain is great at getting position inside.
Each of these schools has not been to the NCAA.
About 33%. They've turned it over a couple of times. They haven't been able to score effectively inside, and despite all the problems they've had, they're still within 5 points.
It's Custer. And it's a 3, and it's down the hatch by Lucas Williamson, a freshman from Whitney Young High School in Chicago. Back to Illinois State we were talking about, 9 field goals and 7 assists on those 9. So they're really unified. They're setting up. They're showing some patience. Yarbrough back in off the bench in foul trouble and quickly hits the J. He's got 6.
I think that's an indication of how Dan Muller feels about the way this game is going right at the moment, that even with those 2 fouls, he's got to risk having Yarborough in the game.
It's Ingram. And Towns. With a drive and picked up inside. Phil Thain is there. And Yarborough the other way. Yarborough leads him in scoring, assists, field goals attempted, free throw percentages, every category covered.
And he likes to drive the ball. He's got to be careful he doesn't drive one into his 3rd foul.
Good feed inside, and Thain was on the doorstep and couldn't finish. Towns has the rebound.
How many times have we seen that today?
Right.
Illinois State has had a lot of inside opportunities that they've been unable to convert.
Ingram 3. Dante Ingram, a 40% three-point shooter, top 10 in the Missouri Valley Conference.
And again, you see the penetration, and they pass it back out. They're not penetrating to try to score.
Ingram knocking down his 2nd three-point shot this afternoon. Approaching to the play, picked off! Great steal by Williamson. They get back on D and they knock it away. Tinsley got it, but Towns comes up with it. And it was a travel, and it was on Towns. Gassman with the defense.
That is the 2nd time today that Tinsley has run down one of the Ramblers and blocked the shot. I'm not sure Williamson even saw Tinsley there, but he just chased him down and blocked it, and then they picked up the turnover.
Yarborough checks out again. Gassman will check out. They will bring back in Njai, the junior from Senegal. Bruniga is back in. They join William Tinsley. Evans remains in the contest. He plays a bunch and high, and that's the Redbird 5 on the floor.
Tinsley is the one guy for the Redbirds who has played in every game.
Yes, he is, Dan.
Nobody else. They've suffered from injuries, some other problems, and they just haven't had their full team together for very much time this year.
The sophomore Hine, who is picked up by Williamson.
Loyola has stayed in the man-to-man.
Njai sets a screen. Custer almost knocked it away. Three-point shot. Good! Put in Tinsley. He's a 30% three-point shooter, but knocks one in right there. In the last game against Loyola, Tinsley had 21 points for the Redbirds against this team that's the #1 seed.
And Tinsley, as you mentioned, is not a high percentage three-point shooter, but 70% of his field goal attempts are from 3. Oh, my.
That's another bad pass by Custer. We don't see Munna.
You get the idea that Loyola has at times tried to force things against the zone, and most of the time when they've done that, they've been unsuccessful.
Hine will spin. Krutwig saves it. Here comes Towns, Marcus Towns. It was the transfer from Fairleigh Dickinson. And a three-point shot, Lucas Williamson. He was on the All-Missouri Valley Conference bench team. And he's got his 2nd 3 with 6 in the first half.
And again, that's another 3 on the run in transition. And Dan Muller wants to talk about that.
I don't blame him. This with that record and with that RPI. They've got to win, in other words, to get in. And the winner here will get their ticket punched to the NCAAs. Tinsley. Njai reels it in, and a new shot clock. Final 30 seconds down to the first half.
One of the things that Loyola has done very well, Kevin, is they haven't fouled very much. They only have 2 fouls this half, but that's not a surprise. They come in as the #3 team in the country in fewest fouls.
Keyshawn Evans with the ball. 2nd leading scorer. Works his way, draws the double, out to Hine, shot clock at 2, long 3. Now Njai grabs it, spins outside Evans. He'll beat the clock if he gets it to go. And that takes us to the half. Loyola, who finished #1 in the modern. Jim Boeheim and Bob Huggins, Roy Williams, Matt Painter, Nick Cronin, Jamie Dixon, a bunch of them. 31 Division I head coaches at their alma mater, including the Illinois State coach. Here we go, beginning the second half. The winner will go to the NCAA tournament. It's Yarborough trying to carve inside, kicks it out. Tinsley 3. Great way to begin the second half for the Redbirds.
Really good ball movement. Yarborough doing a nice job drawing the attention of the defense. Now Illinois State goes back into their 2-3 zone. Got to be very careful not to allow dribble penetration if you're in that zone.
Loyola is 19-0 when leading at halftime, like today. Krutwig on the doorstep, and it will drop for him. In Illinois State, when they are trailing at halftime, 3-12.
When Custer drives the ball to the basket, it's not that he can't finish at the goal, but his primary option is looking to make the pass, and that was another great pass that time.
Here comes Evans on the wing. Williams works his way to the line. And picked up by Ingram. Let's swing it over to John Schriffen.
Well, guys, I spoke to head coach Dan Miller of Illinois State. With the rejection there, that was nice. And he told me flat out, we are playing like, and then he used a word that I can't repeat on air. He said, look, we're getting great looks. We're just not hitting our layups. And because we're missing layups, it's leading to transition threes. We just got to make layups.
Tinsley missed a transition three there, and here we come the other way. Krutwig again. Look at him trying to dance, and he can't. And then he gets it again and puts it in. It's not pretty, it's lumbering, but it works.
But he actually moves his feet pretty well. And Kevin, that was a perfect example of a guy doing a great job to maintain his balance.
They've got their biggest lead right now. The #1 seed, the regular season champions in the Missouri Valley of the turnover. Towns leads the way, the trailing Richardson. Here's a three. Bullseye! Timeout! He was telling us yesterday he's had a lot of his assistants poached by bigger programs. Have gone to Northwestern with Chris Collins and Iowa State and Missouri. He has a nice little tree just from his perch of Loyola of Chicago. And there's a whistle, as you can see, the shove out of bounds. Ball knocked away.
Kick the ball, so they'll reset the shot clock back to 20.
Other thing Moser was telling us yesterday, he says, I like winners from high school. So I got 7 kids on this team that have won state high school championships.
There's something to that philosophy.
Absolutely. You bring in winners, they carry it on. Evans, cross court with a lot of traffic. Hine is in. Nice pocket pass inside. Fane can't convert. Evans is there to grab it. 3 to fire. And a 3 off the rim and picked up by Richardson.
Kevin, there's another example of Illinois State getting a point-blank range shot and not being able to convert it. Now, again, it wasn't easy, but boy, if you're Phil Fane and you get the ball inside like that, you have to score. And now Illinois State has gone back to the man-to-man. Have to do something different.
Towns, Krutwig with a foul as he takes it inside. He rammed his way into Tinsley. With a foul. Fane was helping as well, and Fane picks up his seconds for the Redbirds. Krutwig will be at the free throw line. They've got a mid-major top 25, Dan. In the most recent poll, Gonzaga was #1. Loyola, here in white today, #5 in that mid-major poll.
Clearly, they've got a fun team, Kevin.
Tuesday on CBS. Come on down for an episode that'll keep you guessing. The Price is Right host Drew Carey guest stars in a powerful new NCIS. Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS. Evans the other way. Hine. Picked up by Custer. Gassman is in. He came in and gave him a spark with a couple threes in the first half. Shot clock is down to 7. Evans will fire the triple. Rebound by Krutwig. He's playing a much more effective game this afternoon than he did against Bradley last night. That's a 3 by Custer and a rebound by Tinsley.
I think Illinois State needs to do a better job moving the ball. Too much dribbling going on here, and Loyola so far has done a nice job keeping them in front. They're not letting guys get to the basket, and there's another perfect example of it.
Gassman, Hine, good touch pass, Njai. Nice passing right there.
And finally for Illinois State, a finish inside. That time Njai with the dunk. That's what they need to do more of. They need to move the defense around and get the ball inside.
Richardson thought about 3. Finds his high school teammate Custer out to an open Ingram for the triple. Beautiful stroke.
And Custer drove the ball to the basket without any intention that he was ever going to shoot it. I think you have to defend him for the pass. Make him shoot the ball.
Every game in this tournament has been decided by 10 points or less. This is the largest lead for any team in this year's Missouri Valley Conference Championship. Evans again, Tinsley on the wing, up top. Illinois State at 18 and 14. RPI is 78, so the only way they're going to advance is if they win. And they advance that with the Gassman pass, and it goes inside with a clean jam by Tinsley.
Good patience that time against pretty good defense. The defense is forcing Illinois State to do an awful lot of dribbling. The last couple of times they've been able to end those dribbles with baskets, dunks actually.
Loyola did receive some top 25 votes in the AP poll and the coaches poll. But they are highly ranked in mid-major. Trutwig again. Those hands you talked about coming into play right there.
And there's Custer again driving the ball to the basket with no intention of shooting it.
Last night the Redbirds were in an overtime game, a very tough game against Southern Illinois. Nice spin moving by Hine. Njai tried to get it as they volleyballed around and picked up by Towns. Into the backpedaling Tinsley. Oh, and Njai got over there and breaks it up. But there is a foul called. And it goes on Tinsley for a second time. Good cut. The find and the three, all a part of Loyola's winning equation today. Number 3, the ticket punched moments from now. Marcus Towns at the line. Loyola's 25 regular season wins, Dan. Their most since the 1948-49 season. Now they're at 27 wins after last night, including the postseason. The second most ever. They won 29 games back in 1963 when they won the NCAA championship, beating Cincinnati in the final of that title game.
A lot of people forget about that Loyola team. That was Glory Road before Glory Road.
Right. Ingram, Towns, Jackson. Working on Yarborough. Richardson. Ingram. Look at the ball movement. Williamson will take it in. Jackson with a good catch. Lot of congestion. Can't get it in. Njai is there to reel it in again. Illinois State the last 7.5 minutes, 3 of 14 from the floor.
But they are very capable of making three-point baskets. They are nowhere close to out of this game.
Tinsley. Ingram.
And if you're Loyola, you got to keep pushing the ball exactly the way you've been. Don't let up at all.
Nice play, and what a rejection. That's going to count. That's a goaltend. I don't know. The drive inside, they counted for 2.
One of the few times, Kevin,
yes,
we've seen a drive where they actually try to finish the play.
Yep. What do you think?
I think it was very close.
Yeah, it was close.
That's a very hard call to make. But generally, if you're a big guy and you're that close to the basket, that's going to be the call.
They work inside. Fane tries to slither his way free. Shoved on the play and fouled. And that's going to go on Jackson. He picks up his second right there. This is a Illinois State team which has used 14 different starting lineups this season for a variety of reasons. And they've struggled as they've gone through the season. Only 4 games over 500, but here they are in the final again for a second consecutive year. CBS Sports Network brings you nonstop conference tournament play and Colonial and Patriot League Championship action starting Tuesday at 7 Eastern. See who will get a ticket to the big dance on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
And there's Fane. He missed 2 free throws.
Yep.
And Kevin, so once again, the Redbirds get the ball inside but come away with nothing.
Under 13.
Now Illinois State back to the 2-3 zone.
They played each other twice in the regular season. Each time Loyola in white winning. Each time 68-61. Long shot outside by the senior. Ingram won't go. Nice twirl move there by Evans. Here they go. Hold on for Fane. Williamson at the other end. Transition play with a foul called on Yarborough.
Isn't it interesting? One of the few times today we've seen Illinois State get a run out and score at the other end. This is a very nice pass by Yarborough, who is an elite passer. But the result of this is they don't get back quickly on defense. So yes, you get the basket, but then you have the problem with them running down and getting another foul.
So Williamson will be at the line. Yarborough is the guy that just picked up the Redbird foul. That is his third. His father, Del Yarborough, played at Illinois State from 1976 to 1980. And his dad was pretty good too. Yarborough's was 27th all-time in scoring and 10th in career rebounding.
Yep. His son has been sort of shackled today.
Yep, he has.
You know, he hasn't really been able to get the ball to the basket. His best game is when he's aggressive, doing what he's trying to do right now, posting up. But they've cut that off pretty effectively, have the Ramblers.
It's Williams down low. The aforementioned Yarborough draws a crowd. Shot clock at 9. Dangerous pass. Ingram picks it up. Down court. Satterwhite was trying to take off.
We just talked about Yarborough's passing ability, and it is tremendous, but he also is a guy who tends to throw it to the other team a lot. And so lots of times what teams do to him is they double team him in the low post to see if he'll make a bad pass, and that's exactly what happened on that occasion. And once again, here's Loyola getting out and getting an easy opportunity in transition.
Cameron Satterwhite is a sophomore from Gilbert, Arizona. His first free throw is off. This is a Loyola team, Dan, which has got the 28 RPI as Richardson checks in for Ingram. They beat, at that time, number 5 Florida back in early December. That was a huge win, and it was in Gainesville.
Well, part of the problem that they've had is they can't get people to play them. They had a game against NC State. NC State was supposed to come to Chicago to play Loyola, but NC State brought themselves out of the game because they didn't want to do it. So it's hard, it's hard to say, wow, you don't play a strong schedule, but when teams won't play, it's hard to get that stronger schedule.
Evans, 3. Volleyballed and picked in by Satterwhite. Richardson. Approaching 11.5 to go. 3, Richardson. And picked up by Yarborough. He's got 5 turnovers today. Let's see how he handles this. He had 15 turnovers in the first 2 meetings with Loyola. He has struggled against this defense, which we talked about before, is elite. Top 10 in scoring defense. As of March 1st, they try to go inside with a twisting move by Madison Williams. And a foul. Goes on Custer. A timeout taken in St. Louis. Well, his season low was 8 fouls committed. Redbirds have it. Approaching 11 to play. They got a lot of ground to make up. Evans, gas man, and they go down low with a miss right there by Malik Yarborough. Here's the senior Richardson to the freshman. Front rig, scoring well, finding his place, getting good early position on those entry passes.
He gets great position, and then he uses the pivot foot to keep his body in great balance. You just can't stop him when he gets it that low.
Feign a screen, opens up the 3 for Evans. Rebound inside, bodies hit the deck, including Yarborough and Richardson. I mentioned he's a senior, Richardson. 84 wins for this senior class, the most over a 4-year period for Loyola Chicago. Foul goes on Richardson for the first time. 84 wins is a lot. You kind of measure yourself, don't you, Dan?
Absolutely.
What a senior class has accomplished.
And Yarborough hurt his hand on that play. He got tangled up with Richardson. Richardson picked up the foul trying to block him out.
Again, Richardson is the defensive player of the year in the conference. The thing which is impressive about Loyola of Chicago, their graduation success rate. We don't talk about it all that much, but it's tied, Dan, with 5 other schools, including 4 Ivy League schools, as the best of the best in college basketball.
And this is the 2nd year in a row that they've been up there and been tied, so you can't get any better than the best.
Private school, here goes Yarborough in. Chased, Custer watches it go out of bounds. It's off the Redbirds. It'll be the Ramblers' ball. That doesn't excite Dan Muller.
Loyola has done an outstanding job pressuring the ball when it's inside without fouling.
Illinois State, this is their third final in 4 years. They've lost the other two, so they again have this chance to get to the NCAA tournament. They've not been in 20 years.
Kevin, it's their 6th in the last 11 years.
Yes.
And they haven't won any of them.
Evans trying the break, slithers in. Gassman couldn't get it. Fain will save it. Yarborough tries to convert. He can't hit inside. One missed shot after another.
And Kevin, their shots at point blank range.
Exactly.
Again, they're not all alone in there. There's a lot of traffic, but when you get the ball there, you have to score. Or at least you have to score a very high percentage of those kinds of opportunities.
Williamson trolling the perimeter. Richardson, Custer. Krutwig caught it, was bounced and fouled.
How about that catch?
Yeah.
I mean,
We talked about his hands earlier on.
he was in a big crowd right there. He had 4 red shirts around him, and somehow he caught that ball.
Krutwig, a freshman from Algonquin, Illinois. He has lost 30 pounds since he is enrolled in school.
And he still weighs 260.
And he's still a big rascal, isn't he? Huh? I'm trying to figure him out with 30 more pounds on there. But like we said earlier, freshman of the year in the conference, his footwork and his hands, that's what everybody talks about who have been watching him this week in St. Louis.
Well, you look at him and you say, well, he's not very athletic, but you'd be wrong because he moves very well. He catches the ball very well. He uses his body very well. He makes great use of the pivot on the inside.
He has 9 second-half points. That equals what Illinois State has scored as a team in the second half. Skokna, no. Skokna is from Croatia. Here's a drive. That won't go by Yarborough. Gets another shot at it, and this will drop.
Well, that drive, who was that standing in front of him who guarded him without fouling? Was Krutwig. And that's what we've seen this entire game, that Loyola does a great job. Even when Illinois State is able to drive the ball to the basket, they can defend at the goal without fouling.
9 to play. Skokna. Custer into Krutwig. He's picked up by Fain. They quickly put the clamps on him. Cross court. Richardson. Yarborough there. And that is a foul, and it goes on Yarborough, who transferred out of the St. Louis University program where he played for a couple years. Yarborough's picked up his 4th, and that is a danger sign with 8:46 to go.
Yeah, it really is a danger sign. He's really struggled. He's only got 8 points in the game today. But again, as we've pointed out a couple times, the guy he's been matched up with the entire game is Ben Richardson, the Defensive Player of the Year in this conference.
It's a handful.
Yeah, so the struggles are not a surprise.
Yes. Krutwig. Fain will defend, or try to defend. The move, the spinning, and that won't go. 8.5 to go. Here comes Yarborough. They keep him in with the 4 fouls.
They've got no choice.
They'll dance. Picked up by Ingram.
One of the keys, Kevin, to playing defense like that on the inside is you don't try to block the shot. You just keep your body in great position.
Krutwig again.
He's not going to shoot it from out there, but he might drive it to the basket.
Gets it out to Towns. Ingram, a bump by Fain, who will pick up a foul for the Redbirds. Fain with his 3rd. Sizable lead, under 8 to go. The winner to the NCAA tournament.
To see on a bigger stage, they are fun to watch.
Well, they have the Coach of the Year. Porter Moser is the Coach of the Year in the conference. The Rookie of the Year, the Player of the Year, 6th Man of the Year. They've got everything covered. He played for Tony Baroni at Creighton and learned a lot, was an assistant up there with him. And then he said, my learning really finished with Rick Majerus when I was his top assistant in St. Louis. And Coach Majerus was like a father to me. And Tony Baroni has his fingerprints all over the coach of Loyola. Yarborough leaning inside and gets it to go. Malik Yarborough, one of 3 Division I college basketball players to rank in his conference's top 5 in scoring, rebounding, and assists. That's quite an accomplishment.
That's some great strength. He pushed it through 3 guys in there. But again, Kevin, nobody in there trying to block the shot. They're just playing good position defense, forcing him to take a tough one. That time he made it.
Ingram. 3, Custer. Yarborough's got it. Over 1,000 points in his career, both St. Louis U and with Illinois State. Approaching 7 to go here in the second half. Hine on top. Evans on the wing. Custer's got him. Evans will step back and gets it to go, about 13-footer.
It's a great move by Evans.
Sure was.
Once again, Kevin, that with the white shirts closed down, they don't allow him to get to the basket. That was a pretty tough shot that he made. And if you're going to be shooting those kinds of shots throughout the game, well, you're going to shoot the kind of shooting percentage we've seen from Illinois State today. Really impressed with this defensive effort by Loyola.
Jackson is in. The senior will fight. Tinsley is there with the rebound. Tinsley's got 9 rebounds this afternoon. Yarborough. Lasers one outside. Hine 3. It just is not falling today.
But if you're Illinois State, you've got to keep working on the defensive end. If you're going to make a comeback, you've got to get some stops. You figure eventually the open shots are going to start to fall, but you've got to get stops.
Well, they're 4-20 on 3-point shots today. Under 6 to go in the second half. Towns tries to slash. Custer. Jackson. Fain will grab the ball and give it off to Yarborough.
Boy, Custer can pass in
He sure
traffic.
can. I know it. He's sneaky, isn't he?
He's surrounded by people, and he can still laser the ball right through somebody.
Tinsley to Evans, and Evans is picked up by Skokna.
Another stop, though, by Illinois State. Let's see if they can get a conversion. They're running out of time, obviously.
Fain draws the double. Good recognition defensively. Nice ball rotation. Tinsley at 3. 4 of 21. Skokna the rebound.
Great block out by Jackson.
Loyola playing with great confidence. You can see it in the body language, can't you, Dan?
Kevin, you watch them on tape. They've played with great confidence all year.
So true. Marcus Towns, 3-time state champion in New Jersey. Jackson with a spin. Picked up in Skokna took one to the chops as they're reaching in inadvertently, but he took one nonetheless to the teeth. Tomorrow on CBS, it's a great night of comedy with Kevin Can Wait, Man with a Plan, Superior Donuts. And the new comedy everybody's talking about, Living Biblically. All new tomorrow night, 8/7 Central. Only CBS. Skokna is at the line. I was talking about Marcus Towns with the first free throw going in. He's a junior from Edison, New Jersey, and he's had his fingerprints on this one, standing in back of Skokna right now. He is a 3-time state champion. In his high school teammate, a couple good ones. I don't know if you've heard of him, Carl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
And former Vandy star Wade Baldwin. I imagine that was a pretty good high school team.
Sounds like a pretty good high school team, but Towns, who you're talking about, Kevin, in the semifinal game yesterday, at the end of that game when it was still in doubt, he hit a huge three-point shot, maybe the biggest shot of the game to help propel the Ramblers to this game.
At 12 points in that one, Krutwig will clean the glass. 4.5 to go. Loyola beat Bradley yesterday, beat Northern Iowa Friday by 4. Custer, Richardson, Ingram, 3, Pickett!
Well, they move so well. They move the ball so well.
His 4th triple in the championship game this afternoon.
And they're feeling it now.
They are. Biggest lead. Yarborough off the glass nicely for 2.
Boy, it gives you some idea of his offensive ability. He's made a couple of tough shots here the last couple possessions.
They put Yarborough and Evans and Fain all together. They all have averaged over 15 points. That's one of 4 schools in the country with a trio like that, along with Buffalo, Marshall, and Oakland University. So they have the scoring, but today this terrific defense of Loyola has been a very difficult match. Krutwig is screened for Custer. Picked up by Gassman.
Really got to push. You have to go quickly.
Gassman with a three. He's got his third three-point shot going down this afternoon. 3:17 to go.
Have the one timeout left. Their problem isn't the timeout, though. Their problem is that they need some threes. They need a lot of them, and they need them fast.
And now you're going to get a little slowdown game, perhaps, from Loyola as well. Eat up some clock.
One of the keys for Loyola today has been their ability to push the ball and score in transition, but you're not going to see that right now.
His Illinois State team was a co-conference champion a year ago with Wichita State. Evans racing. Gassman will put up the three on the fly, and it's picked up by Marcus Towns. And a player is down. Richardson for Loyola.
I did not see it.
I didn't either. I heard it, but I didn't see it.
I think it's possible that he just slipped and fell down and did not have. Richardson is right here.
He was bumped. Ooh.
Oh, and he got bumped by Evans there.
Yeah.
And he just fell right on his tailbone.
We've talked about the Defensive Player of the Year in the conference, Richardson. He is a senior from Blue Valley Northwest High School in the Kansas City area, Overland Park. And how he and Custer have been teammates, number 13 there, since the 3rd grade. This is a pretty hard fall, obviously.
Well, Evans doesn't even see him.
Right.
Keyshawn Evans just is, I don't know what Keyshawn Evans is doing, but he never saw Richardson. And he bumped into him as Richardson was going up trying to contest the three-point shot.
Custer and Richardson.
Illinois State trying some pressure now. You got to do something. I think Krutwig called a timeout.
I think Krutwig did. So we'll step aside as well. Loyola in kind of on the extension of our story earlier on. We've had so many assistant coaches poached off his program, off his assistant coaching pile at Loyola.
And again, Loyola cannot get the ball in bounds.
Another timeout. Man, this is one of the best run tournaments in the entire country. Doug Elgin and his group do a great job. Oh, here's a little vice grip they've got on Krutwig. Gets out of it. Here comes Ingram. And he misses the jam. They had the careening Tinsley aiming at him, and it's a miss, and Tinsley's going to pick up his 3rd foul.
Kevin, you saw in capsule right there what we've seen from Krutwig all day. He's double teamed. It's tremendous pressure. He doesn't panic. He uses his pivot foot. He uses his body. And then when he finally sees the open guy, he has the strength to make a pass. Diagonal pass from right in front of the Illinois State bench out to half court. That was a very good play.
We saw Ben Richardson walk off the floor. He is now back on the bench, as you can see, but he's going to be sore tomorrow.
Yeah,
he's going to be sore tomorrow.
But as you pointed out, he's got some time to recover before his team.
And they're going to need him.
Yes, they are.
They're going to need him.
But Kevin, this is an interesting team. If I saw these guys as my first-round matchup in the NCAA tournament, I might not be very pleased. You get a team that moves the ball like this, that can shoot the ball like this, they could really present some problems.
Evans with a shot which will sail out of bounds. And was it?
It was not. The official saying it was not tipped. Dan Mullen saying, hey, wasn't it tipped? But the answer to that question is most of the other things for Dan Mullen today have been no. Dan Muller, excuse me.
There's so many interesting components to this game. Loyola has had, Dan, only 1 field goal in the last 8.5 minutes, yet their lead has always been safe because of their defense.
So we talked about with Illinois State, if you're going to catch up, you got to get stops. Their defense has gotten the stops, but they've not been able to convert it on the other end, and I think you have to give credit to that to the Loyola defense.
Satterwhite is in, Towns at the ball, Custer with it, Ingram on the side, and Krutwig is up high. And he set a screen, it would appear. Now try to roll in a double team. They've got Ingram outside. It's a Custer 3, and it's picked up, an offensive rebound by Towns, and a big one at that.
This is a team, Loyola, that makes you defend the entire floor. Richardson's coming back in the game, Kevin.
How about, baby? He's over there squatting and grimacing. as he does it. It'll be on the floor as a senior to celebrate the win, the championship, and a berth in the NCAAs. Ingram three, no. And out of bounds, and it will be off of Loyola. Although John Higgins may go take a look at it. We've got 1:18 to go, and they may take a look at it. They are going to take a look at it. Illinois State's 4 free throw attempts this afternoon, matching their season low, which also came against Loyola.
I think when they look at it, they're going to give the ball to Loyola. I do not think Towns ever touched that ball. That one. That ought to be a pretty quick decision there. I think Towns got to, I think Tinsley got to it before Towns ever had an opportunity.
The Loyola coach Moser, who is in his 7th season with the Ramblers, was also, we began the broadcast by saying he was also the coach at one time for Illinois State back in the early 2000s. So he's seen both sides of this, certainly.
Now one last
There's
look
a touch.
here.
Good job by our
that's a great
terrific
shot right
crew. Mike Arnold, our director, and Kenny Mack, our producer, and our wonderful group of cameramen.
Now, of course, the rule is unless you see what you consider to be indisputable video evidence, then the call stays as it was made on the court. So even though we over here think that's pretty clear cut, the two gentlemen over there, John Higgins and Kelly Self, are the ones who are going to decide, and they've agreed with us for once.
Well, this crew is terrific. They come in with the litany of Final Fours and regional finals officiated, and the Missouri Valley felt fortunate to get this group, but this is one of the top conference tournaments. We mentioned as we came on the air, this is the 8th ranked conference out of the 32 in college basketball.
And this is one of the oldest conferences.
Yes, it is.
Too. This is a conference with tremendous tradition.
Great history. In fact, the first African-American coach in Division I was at Illinois State, Will Robinson. Here's a shot outside by Towns. Will Robinson coached Doug Collins, who became the player of the year in college basketball, the #1 overall pick in the pros. Doug averaged 32 a game, played on that Olympic team in '72. But Will Robinson, who was a decorated high school coach in Detroit, was hired in Normal, Illinois, Illinois State. Inside Fain, got it. Phil Fain's got 12. They had 26 last night in the win over Southern Illinois. Loyola of Chicago is going dancing.
Got a sign up in the stands that says "Party like it's 1985."
Last time they went to the NCAA tournament.
There you go. And they're about to do it.
You can see some of the players on that ball club 33 years ago. And I bet no one is more happy than those guys right there that this team will move on.
Now, Porter Moser was telling us the other day that the excitement around his Loyola program is so great that the other day they were talking about what tickets were going to cost to various sporting events in Chicago, and there was the Bulls, there was the Bruins, there was Northwestern, and the Scalpers were getting the most for tickets
Isn't that something?
to the Loyola game.
Well, they bring in Carson Shanks, who is a graduate transfer from North Dakota. They bring in Christian Negron, who is on this team. He's a freshman from Elgin, Illinois. In fact, they'll take a shot and make it. He just came off the bench from Lorcan High School, a freshman from Elgin, Illinois. He is in and seeing time here. Have fun for these kids as they clean the bench with a nice rebound hauled in by Satterwhite. The final seconds, for the first time in 33 years, Loyola is going to the NCAA tournament.